He's flown special ops military operations with his unmanned aircraft, UAVs, all over the world. One of his most high-profile missions took place off the coast of Somalia in 2009. He assisted in rescuing the crew of the Maersk, Alabama, after it was hijacked by Somali pirates. We all remember the tension of that story in the news. And then the wonderful film, Captain Phillips, starring Tom Hanks. You know how it all went down. This Saturday at 2:30, Andrew's going to speak about this mission and unmanned aerial vehicles at the Museum of Flight. It's great to have him in person in the studio with us this morning. Andrew, welcome to the Bob Rivers Show. How are you?
Good, thanks.
These drones are rapidly becoming so commonplace, and now they're making them all sizes. Like realtors are using them to take pictures of houses, police are using them. That, like the Google Glass story we were just talking about in terms of surveillance, we're making incredible strides that we have to somehow balance with privacy and freedom and all of that. What do you think about the future of drones? Is it going to be difficult to do that?
Oh, I certainly expect it'll be difficult, but I think that it'll become a necessity.
Yeah, nothing's going to stop progress, right?
No, there's enough business reasons behind it.
There's a lot of money that is, sure, everybody wants to. So, all right, let's get to what you do. The ScanEagle, by the way, I was reading about this. The ScanEagle is an amazing vehicle with incredible capabilities. It's also big. It's not the little drones that we've seen. And I want to ask you, flying that thing, you have to have a pilot's license to fly it?
No.
But you are a pilot.
I
a very experienced pilot, right? What kind of ratings do you have?
I have commercial rating and instrument rating.
Yeah. So you could fly. You could fly a Boeing jet. Have you?
I've flown the 757.
Yeah. Okay. That's just a little thing. Take a first spin around the block. Yeah.
I'd have led with that if I walked in. I've flown a 77.
Yeah. I am the greatest.
I deserve a better
Sherman.
chair.
Okay. So So then, tell me why your interest in the drones first off, and how you got involved in the drone program.
Oh, I was already a pilot, or already a employee at Boeing at the time, and the opportunity came up. I kind of in the right place at the right time, and bit off a little more than I could chew, I think, at the time. I didn't know I was going to spend so much time in the Middle East.
In Iraq, yeah. Where were you? Like, how far away from the drone? The ScanEagle, by the way, was used extensively in Iraq, as well as the rescue in Somalia that we're going to talk about. How far away from this ScanEagle do you have to be to operate it? Can you operate it from anywhere?
There is the capability to operate it from a satellite, but for the most part, we usually operate it in what we call line of sight. So usually about 70 miles is about the maximum.
70 miles. So anywhere within 70 miles of the bad area, you got to go over. The thing can fly, I understand, for 24 hours on 2 gallons of gas.
Roughly.
How big of a payload? What does it weigh? How much can it carry?
ScanEagle's about 40 pounds, usually in most configurations.
Okay.
And there's a number of different payloads it can carry in terms of camera options.
Right. Primarily camera. Good quality camera. I assume you're going to put a 1080p up there. Is it super high definition, right?
I expect that they'll probably go there. And
You ever tempted to fly it over a drive-in theater, get a new release of the movie? Because they're really cracking down on that stuff. You know, be careful.
Yeah. Probably not. You have top secret security clearance, I would imagine, too.
I do.
Which is why you didn't answer that question. I mean,
He just laughed
looked at him and
knowingly.
laughed.
Hell, I've been targeted now.
So now the ScanEagle, is that an interesting thing about this program is, even though this is huge government operation, the government doesn't operate it. They hire you or someone else at Boeing. You're subcontracted out to do this work, right?
That's correct. Yeah, all of our contracts, the aircraft, were owned and operated by the Boeing company.
When you are doing the work, do you have to do you get briefed on the whole big picture of the mission, or are you just basically, in other words, I imagine a lot of it's top secret.
Oh, a
How
lot
much
of it
do you
was.
know? Yeah.
I would say we didn't always get everything, but we usually got a brief about the objective of what they wanted us to do for them.
What can you tell us about what you were doing in Iraq? You were supporting the United States Navy.
Excuse me. On my first operation, we were supporting the U.S. Navy. We were flying patrol and to protect the oil platforms in Iraq, which is where something like 98% of their GDP goes out through those oil platforms. So it's a big area of protection.
And the risk was they were in danger of being attacked and burned, so that to cripple the country, right?
Right.
Okay.
Now, we use these UAVs for surveillance quite frequently, but we also use them as weapons, armed UAVs. Are these the same sort of aircraft, or is that a different kind of drone that we're putting, missiles on and targeting terrorists?
ScanEagle did not have the capability and still does not
Does
have
not
the
have the
capability.
weapons capability.
40-pound plane probably couldn't carry a 200-pound bomb.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a bigger.
speculating.
In fact, they call it. I love it. They describe these like cars. It's a UAV. Oh,
Right.
will it
Yeah, it's a
accommodate a
UAV.
family with 2 children?
Sure, you want to go on a mountain for the weekend? Sure, that's what you want to take.
It's a
Sunroof,
UAV,
ladder.
and they call it a mid-size UAV, right? So
Right.
what's the biggest UAV wingspan?
Oh, boy, if I had to take a stab at it, I'd say it's probably the Global Hawk, and I'm not
Okay.
sure what their wingspan is, but
But it's bigger,
Oh,
and it
quite
can
a bit
carry
bigger.
the aforementioned Osama
Welcome wagon.
Osama vacation welcome wagon.
Yeah. Is the piloting skills the same regardless of the size of the plane? I mean, if I'm sitting and I'm just dumbing it down for my own personal, but if I'm with a joystick controlling a drone, it is the same skill set for a small 40-pounder as opposed to some
Or as a
Global Eagle?
757. In
Yeah.
some ways, yes, right?
In a lot of ways, it is only due to the level of automation that we've put into commercial airplanes these days. Flying the larger UAVs sometimes takes a little bit more knowledge and capabilities from actually flying the airplane onto the ground, landing it, taking it off. ScanEagle had a kind of a unique way of
That's
of
the
taking
interesting
off
thing
and
about
landing.
the ScanEagle is it didn't need an airport runway. They grabbed it with some kind of they. It sounds like they sort of launched it off a flat platform like a slingshot, and then they grabbed it with some kind of line. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, we had a pneumatic launcher that would shoot the airplane into the air, and then to recover the airplane, we basically hung a rope.
Like a
And
deck
then-
of an aircraft carrier, right? I mean, like an arresting cable on an aircraft carrier would be?
Similar,
Okay.
but vertical, right? And then we would
Wow.
basically fly the airplane into the rope, and it would
Like a rubber band almost, because the
Right.
rope has to give, right?
Yeah,
it has
it-
to slow it down.
right. It was on bungee cords.
Wow.
It's a bungee cord deal. I love that. Yes, I'd like to pull into my driveway and have a giant bungee cord slow me down. Eric Corman
Yeah,
has a
before
question.
we get too far away, the Global Hawk, I was just looking at that, Drew, and that thing has a wingspan of 130 feet and can go 8,700 miles.
The replacement for the U-2 spy plane.
It's the SUV UAV. All right. So, look, thank you for saving Tom Hanks, by the way. That was very nice of you. It wasn't really Tom Hanks.
A grateful nation, thanks you.
By the way, Captain Phillips was like, thank you for casting Tom Hanks. He's a good-looking guy.
Well, that guy was a true hero, the real Captain Phillips, because he said, "Keep me," right? And he let everybody else go. I'll stay.
This is, this is a well-told story now in the film and in the media. And these Somali pirates, they were all hopped up on this this drug that they take that, makes them sort of like our meth. And it made the shipping lanes very unsafe. So the Maersk is poking along, and all of a sudden these guys take it over. The captain does the amazing, brave thing. It says, "Take me." And he's a prisoner in this small boat, wasn't it? It was not a very big thing.
No.
And basically with a gun to his head the whole time. All right, enter you with the ScanEagle. You get a call. We need your help.
Yeah, we were already on board the USS Bainbridge. We were notified of the.
How far away is the Bainbridge?
As I recall, we were about 300 miles away.
Okay, so that's close, considering the size of the globe.
Right.
And they call you and they say, we got to, like, what did they say?
We'd just been informed that a U.S. flagship had been attacked by pirates at the time. We didn't know any more than that.
Right, that's all you need to know. We need to get your
Get off the Lido deck.
get your mid-size UAV over here right away. All right, so you head over. You go by helicopter and you just fly the UAV alongside you. How do you move 300 miles?
Well, the Bainbridge took off moving, and we just stayed out in front of it at
Okay.
max range. And
The whole Bainbridge has to get within line of sight then. To the
Within
sensor.
70 miles.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and you're 300 away, so that can happen pretty quick. So, what are you seeing? Describe the experience of flying the ScanEagle over this this pirate ship, and what kind of detail can you make out the Captain Phillips inside?
Not Captain Phillips usually. The pirates would sometimes get out and climb on top of the boat or stand off the back of it. At night, with infrared, we could see where different people were at on the boat.
Yeah,
And
you can see where they're sitting and everything.
Right, so using that, we could identify usually where we thought the captain was at.
Right, the Somali people are skinnier than our Americans, right?
Right.
Let's face
Harder
it.
to hit.
Smaller heat profile.
Yeah. But they, and after a while, they get tired out. And can you tell us, like, what kind of a difference did the drone make? Like, if they didn't have the drone, different ending maybe.
Who knows? I guess we actually located the Maersk, Alabama before we were the first people to put eyes on it, and then at that point, the captain was already off on the lifeboat with the pirates, and then we were able to locate that and get detailed coordinates.
Boeing is amazing, by the way. And I don't just say that because I live here, but it's amazing to live here and to know the brilliant scientific, technological, engineering genius that occupies this area and that has a huge effect on the world. I mean, Starbucks, yes, that coffee is everywhere too, but
Boeing may have a little,
and maybe Microsoft has made a computer, or
maybe.
But it's really quite amazing the future, what the future holds. And these drones, Jeff Bezos has said, well, we're going to be delivering we're going to be delivering your milk with drones or whatever. Do you believe that that's the future of drones? That they'll eventually be like the Jetsons? And what better city than the city with the Space Needle, right?
I think there's plenty of commercial applications that will
many. All right, anything we could think of. And then here's the question: Boeing. Like IBM used to make only big computers for big companies, and eventually they made the little PC. Does Boeing have a Boeing home products store, sort of like a Boeing Bed Bath & Beyond? Are they thinking about,
Bed Bath & Boeing?
Bed Bath & Boeing. Are they thinking about little flying things for all of us, too? Well, there's a huge untapped market.
Oh, I'm sure they are. We've got quite the resource and development programs, and this
guy's high security
Yeah,
clearance.
he's not going to give you much.
You're good at this, Drew. You're good.
I want him to make sounds like you got to have a little speaker with it, like the Jetsons and everything.
Now, if we're going to have drones everywhere, we're going to need a lot of drone pilots. I have a really close friend who's a captain of a commercial airline, worked for a big company, flew for decades all over the world, the biggest planes made, got grounded for health reasons. And I joked to him, I said, dude, you should look into
being a drone
pilot. Does the skills you acquire as a commercial pilot help you get a job as a drone pilot? And how do you go about getting into this emerging industry?
Well, it certainly does, and it will going forward too, especially for the prospect of flying UAVs in the United States. I suspect that the Federal Aviation Administration will enforce a requirement to have a pilot's license.
No, I haven't seen Captain Phillips yet, but I've made a vow to see all the Oscar nominees this year. So I'm assuming, since you played such a key role in saving Captain Phillips' life, that your character is in the movie. I'm assuming that and looking at
who plays you?
Here, yeah, I'm thinking Kiefer Sutherland, Bradley Cooper, just trying to get close.
Or maybe that guy from Something About Mary, that comedian guy. You know what I'm talking about.
Which one, Sandler? Or,
no,
Stiller?
The one he's been in our studio. But anyway.
Oh God, no.
So who does play you?
So I'm not fully portrayed in the movie, though ScanEagle is.
Oh man!
Oh well.
After all you did.
So, folks, and I know there's a lot of aviation people that have a million technical questions that would love to talk to him. Andrew Lohmar is going to be at the Museum of Flight Saturday at 2:30. Any questions you want answered, head them down.
Yeah,
okay.
Appreciate it.
Good
Go
to have
Hawks!
you. Yeah. Oh, go Hawks!
I
Yeah.
love this guy.
Well, are you going to be watching the game like from overhead?
From the MetLife drone, we'll go to the air. It's not the Goodyear blimp this year.
By the way, appropriately, it's 727.
Nice.
One of Boeing's great planes. 727 coming up.